views and opinions of the following program does not necessarily reflect those of the Internet Streaming Corporation and GoMileHigh.com.
We're getting down, gonna set it right. That's how we live it. Step up on the mic, you know I'm gonna spit it. Got the boogie bass banging time. See what make you shake your mind and make you shake what your mama gave you. Getting down, gonna set it right.
Hello and welcome, moronic morons, to the 6th edition of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. What? Okay. Apparently I'm not allowed to call the listeners moronic morons, Dave. According to Rob Wagner, I'm supposed to be a nice guy and treat the listeners with respect. I don't know, but I'll certainly give it a shot. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 6th edition of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. I am your host, the bad boy of Colorado wrestling, the most sagacious, gregarious, nefarious, and energetic host to come down the pike in a long while for this station. I am manager extraordinaire. I am the Rocky Mountain Mouth Michael Titus, and I am what I say I am, and that is extraordinary. Today on the show, I'll be talking about the shows from this past weekend, the ACW Underground Show and the New Era Wrestling Show, Wrestling Then and Now, and the long-awaited and much-anticipated interview with the Kodiak Bear himself, Chris Von Lohr. And as always, I encourage you to like the Michael Titus Show on Facebook at facebook.com/The Michael Titus Show. It's all one word. Follow me on Twitter at Michael_Titus. Check out my website, themichaeltitus.com. Now, if you're interested in talking with me, whether you're a fan, a wrestler, manager, promoter, or basically anyone, give me a call at 720-258-8488. Post a comment on Facebook or email me at themichaeltitus@gmail.com. Now that the business side of things have been covered, I've got to tell you some fantastic news. So last week I told you that I'm the new owner of Asylum Championship Wrestling in Colorado Springs. Now that is correct. Well, over the weekend at the quarterly UWA Board of Directors meeting, in a unanimous decision, I was named as the chairman of the board. Therefore, I am the new owner of Ultimate Wrestling Alliance out of Fort Collins. The papers have been signed, sealed, and delivered, and I told everyone for the past 2 years that Titus Enterprises was going to take over Colorado wrestling. 2 promotions down, 3 to go. The next promotion on my hit list is New Revolution Wrestling. So you better watch out, Swan Christopher. And breaking news, Swan Christopher and Mercury Matt Yaden will be presenting a check today to the Rocky Mountain Deaf School out of Golden from that fundraiser they had at the last NRW show. I don't know why I had to say that, but evidently Swan Christopher, because he's got the gag orders out against me, I have to say these types of things, little tidbits and little breaking news about them. But like I've been telling people, Titus Enterprises, we've been dominating. And not only have we been dominating in the business world, but in the ring as well, because this past Sunday night was indeed the New Era Revolution show, New Era Wrestling. And I'm telling you what, we got Michael Madoff, the gold standard. He went up against Sam Udell, a young up-and-coming kid, fantastic physique, a little bit of green around the edges, but he's going to work his way up to the top. And he thought he could knock off a veteran like Michael Madoff. Well, he thought he was too good to be true. But honestly, he bit off too much more than he could chew, and Michael Madoff just finished him off. It was cut and dry, plain and simple, a piece of cake for Michael Madoff. And then they had the New Era champion, Bronx, who was evidently given the title at the last show, just outright said, you know what, Aaron the Candyman has disappeared. He's up and left us. You can have the title. So Stephen Powers, being the benevolent, magnanimous, and altruistic individual that he is, he went out there and he said, you know what, Bronx? I believe that you need an easy night. I don't think that you need to be having some tough competition. You don't need to be facing some of the rough, tough guys that we have here in New Era. You need to have an easy night. So he went out and got Kurt Chaos, the tag team partner of Ronan, the Rock and Roll Vampire, the Dark Alliance. Kurt Chaos, the better of the two, the guy who doesn't whine and complain when he goes out to the ring. He doesn't up and quit wrestling because he's upset because Martin Casas out of Salt Lake City, Utah, is doing Doritos commercials for the Super Bowl and upset because that's one of his favorite chips next to Lay's sour cream and onion. But you know what? Kurt Chaos, you had a valiant effort. You went out there, you tried, you put your heart into it, but Bronx was just too much for you. Everything you did, all the arsenal that you put up against him was just not enough. Bronx was just playing with you. It was like a cat with a toy. That's what it was. And Bronx was able to remain victorious, and he got the night off, which was unfortunate for Stephen Powers, because later on the night he could definitely have used the help of his champion, Bronx, that's for sure. Then you had the Kodiak Bear himself, Chris Von Lohr. Chris Von Lohr, and you're going to hear in the interview that I have with him later on in the show, is that he's been going through this transformation because as a result of all of the losses that he's been getting at New Era Wrestling, he just can't believe what's going on, so he's got to reinvent himself, and he's reinventing himself in a different way. He started out by wearing a Christmas sweater in the ring. What kind of a idiot wears a Christmas sweater in the ring? You know he's going to get overheated, and he's going to lose his frame of mind. He's just going to pass out in the middle of the ring, and then it's just a matter of time before the Razorback Jay Sin defeated him, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Jay Sin, the Razorback, was able to defeat the Kodiak Bear, and it was that sweater that was ultimately the disadvantage in the match for him. Then you had the Danger Zone. Danger Dean, Danger Pimpin' Dean out of Colorado Springs, the radio DJ, the man who graduated from Ohio Center for Broadcasting, which, by the way, the OCB needs to update their records. He is no longer some morning show host at 99.9 down in Colorado Springs. He is now the morning show host of Magic FM. Just a little tidbit for those people out there who are paying attention. And he has his tag team partner, Mr. Charisma himself, not Bruce Rogers. Danger Zone, please. And Danger Dean thought he was real funny. He came over to the broadcast booth where I was commentating, and he thought, oh, he'll wipe his hands through his hair and throw water in my face. I told him, I said, hey, Dean, next time, get your hair wet. You're not going to do anything to me with your dry, brittly hair. Need some conditioner. See a hairstylist, you big buffoon. And then his partner, Bruce Rogers, over there, without his glasses on, he doesn't know if he's coming or going. They took on the team of Youth Revolution, Ethan and Hunter, some new team that just come out of nowhere who has no business being in the ring whatsoever. You got some little kid with his penguin feet going out one way, and then you got the other guy who was a short, fat Mexican looking for a burrito. These two guys had no business being in the ring, and that's why, ultimately, the experience and the wisdom of that old man, Danger Dean, and his young punk kid, Bruce Rogers, was able to defeat Youth Revolution. And then you had that big triple threat tag team match. Black Ops, A-Felon, and the War Dog Damian Payne. They are reinstated back in New Era Wrestling. War Dog Damian Payne is out of jail. These two are just unrelenting, unbelievable, and at the same time, ruthless. They go out there and do whatever they want, whenever they want, and however they want. They accost announcers. They berate the fans. And they go out there legitimately trying to break bones. And the other tag teams in the match was those guys. You know, those guys, those are the type of guys that got everything in life. No matter what was going on in their life, if they wanted to go to college and become big-name stars, that's what they did. They're Ivy League graduates. They got all the girls. They got everything. And that's Frankie Tanner and Chaz Lawrence. Those guys actually went out there and put on a fantastic display. And I knew that they were going to win, and I'm legally obligated to say that the Black Ops are a good team because my counterpart on the Full Nelson, the sister show here, which are Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 p.m., The Truth, the main host on there, says, hey, he's the head of Bomb Squad. I got to tell him, all right, I will support Black Ops. And then the third team in that match was the Border Crashers, Johnny Crash and Robert Romero. The multiracial, counterculture, you name it, burrito swilling and McDonald's eaters, that's what they are. But we'll be back for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Sarah. What's up?
Nothing much. You?
Trying to listen to some sports talk radio. I can't hear a word.
Here, let me help. Give me your Mac. And pass the chips, too. Okay, so go to GoMile... Wait... How do you even work these Macs?
Wow, Sarah. You got to use two fingers to scroll.
I got it. Okay, so like I was saying, go to GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com, you say?
Yeah, they have everything. Tons of sports shows, and on their website there are show schedules, a listen live button, links to their Facebook pages, and even a webcam.
Whoa, I can actually see them?
Seeming that you own a Mac, I thought you would know that.
Hey, don't go all Nancy Drew on me. I knew that.
Yeah, but check it out. It's on crystal clear internet radio, so no more issues.
Wow, thanks, Sarah.
Yep, I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks. Wait, where did my chips go?
The wave of the future is here. Don't get left behind. Listen to GoMileHigh.com.
When you think of horses and insurance, you probably think of hurdles. At Equisure, they pride themselves on giving you a smooth ride because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Equisure. Protect your passion. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 800-752-2472. Equisure. 800-752-2472.
Broadcasting from Belmar, Lakewood, Colorado. GoMileHigh.com.
This morning, a woman reached out. A man stepped up. Somebody sat down with 16-year-old Stephen and taught him better study habits, and suddenly, toughing it out till graduation seemed to Stephen a pretty good idea. We're realizing the way we live our lives can impact the way others live theirs, their education, their income, their health. We're not just wearing the shirt, we're living it. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. It is the most talked about talk show on Go Mile High. I am your host, the Rocky Mountain Mouth Michael Titus, and I've been getting rave reviews about my show. I've actually got some negative reviews as well, but you know what? I think those negative reviews are coming from those jealous people. The people that say I'm a no-talent hack, that I don't know the first thing about wrestling, and I don't even have a clue about being a manager. Well, let me tell you something, you naysayers, you moronic morons, you duplicitous twerps. I do know what I'm talking about, and I am the greatest manager of all time. I am the hardest working manager today, and the reason is because of the 4 ingredients to be the best in the world at what I do, and that is to have charisma, intensity, enthusiasm, and of course, passion. And when I talk about passion, I feel like Rod Stewart, thinking that I'm some sort of guy that, is talking about passion. But you know what? That's what it's all about. If you got charisma, it's the power to inspire people. People are drawn to me. People want to come see me. People want to see what I'm going to say. And that's exactly why you're tuning in today to listen to the Michael Titus Show. Intensity, because you give the energy and effort, and you believe that it's now or never. The time is now to do what you got to do. And the enthusiasm is that you believe in what you're talking about. You bring forth that energy, excitement, and passion. Doesn't matter if you love wrestling or if you love entertaining. You've got to bring that to the table each and every time that you go out there. And that's why I go out there to the ring. And that's why I hate those people out there, those idiots that are like hobbyists, in my opinion, because they just go out there and they just half-ass what they're doing, and they make it look like a joke out there. This is a business to me. This is a livelihood for me. And for any of those people that are trying to insult this business, the world of professional wrestling, you people make me sick. Because you go out there, it's just like any other sport. You put your heart on the line, you give it your all every single time. Dave and Ronnie talk about soccer, they talk about football, and they believe in it. The players that are playing, they believe in it. People who are in football, basketball, baseball, it's no different. You got to give it your all. And when I see people like at the New Era Wrestling, I see people who are giving it their all. Like Frankie Tanner and Chaz Lawrence, those guys. You see A. Felon and War Dog Damian Payne, Black Ops, giving it their all. I wish I could say the same for the guy who is totally out of shape, the man that all the sand is settled in the middle, and the man who is falling apart day by day, Johnny Crash. Johnny Crash says it looks like he's lost his love for the business. I wish I could. His sister, Connie Salas, she believes in the business of hairstyling. That's why she went out and got a degree. She loves fixing people's hair, and she's tired of having to fix old people's hair. But Johnny Crash, on the other hand, her brother, he doesn't care anymore. Robert Romero, he's just going out there to have fun, to say that, his family can come and support him. It's not about friends and family anymore. It's about going out there and entertaining the masses, men and women of all ages. Doesn't matter if they're family, friends. It has to be that you're mostly doing it for the strangers out there, the people that love wrestling. And in that match, you saw how A. Felon and War Dog were just like, you know what? I can't believe that a Johnny Crash and Robert Romero are in this ring. Doesn't look like they're giving it their all. They don't really care about it. And those guys just went out there just to entertain themselves, basically, because they wanted to see what they could get done. So it came down. At the end of it all, it was Black Ops and those guys. And what they were trying to go after in this match was the number one contendership. So what happens is that those two teams will fight next month, January 15th, 2012, to determine the new NEW Tag Team Champions. And that's not a play on words. That's not a pun. That's exactly what it is. The new NEW Tag Team Champions. So you saw that, Black Ops and those guys. Then, the big, long-awaited return of Jason Knoll, my Diamond Standard. He's new and improved. Because you know what? I said some derogatory things, inappropriate, albeit true, but totally unnecessary things about Jason Knoll at the last NEW show. Talked about he was uncharismatic, he was bland, he was hopeless. But then I took a step back and I realized, you know what? Jason Knoll has been with me for quite some time. And obviously he's not getting any better. It's because I can't teach him anymore. That's why. Because there's nothing more I can teach him to be the Diamond Standard that he's supposed to be. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to take him to a place that could teach him all about how to be the Diamond Standard. I'm going to take him to the Diamond Exchange. I'm going to take him to see none other than the one and the only Diamond Dallas Page. That's right. The man who knows more about diamonds than Kay, Jarrett, Zales, or even Louisa Grasp herself. Diamond Dallas Page taught Jason Knoll how to have class, charisma, and how to be a champion. So we got to see, and all those people in the Buffalo Rose got to see firsthand the new and improved Diamond Standard Jason Knoll when he took on the king of crazy, the man who makes Madman Pondo look like a pussycat, Jinsu, sends chills up and down my spine every single time I see him. But you know what? We outsmarted him. He may be big, he may be bad, he may be ferocious, and he may be able to break bones, but he is not able to put the fear of God in us. We outsmarted him, and we defeated him. Jason Knoll is still undefeated. Titus Enterprises still prevailed, and it was just phenomenal. Then you went on to the semi-main event, which was the Superstar versus Trajan Ender, and they tore down the house in that match. And the Superstar was victorious. You didn't think it was possible, but because Trajan Ender, being a veteran, a ring veteran that he is, a tactician in the ring. But you know what? Superstar is just that much better because, like he says, if you heard last time on his interview, he said he's that much better than everyone else. He is better than the rest. He is the best in Colorado. Contrary to what Lonnie Valdez says he's the best in Colorado. So we'll just have to see when that feud comes to a head, if a match can be signed between the two of them and see who indeed is the best in Colorado. Is it Lonnie Valdez or is it the Superstar? We'll just have to see what happens in that. But in the main event, it was a dog collar match, Joey A. Kincaid versus Tony Morales. And Stephen Powers forgot in that match that he had, by signing that match, he gave the authority to Joey A. Kincaid to have a number one contenders match against Bronx at the next show, January 15, 2012. And that was a bloody, battered, gruesome, guts all over the place, nasty affair. Tony Morales was busted open, had the crimson mask, so did Joey A. Kincaid. It was a hard-fought battle, but Joey A. Kincaid came out on top. And then you had Stephen Powers getting in there thinking that he was going to, and not tase him this time like he did the last time, but he had his gi on, looking like Eric Bischoff, coming out there and trying to do his karate moves, but they had no effect whatsoever on Joey A. Kincaid. Joey A. Kincaid is the number one contender for the NEW title next month, January 15th. Stay tuned for more of The Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding? GoMileHigh.com.
Is this broadcasting rook really ready for the big show? The radio host steps up to the mic and clears his throat. The co-host winds up. Oh, and the host knocks it high and deep towards the center speaker. Home run! Home run! The callers go completely crazy and the phones light up.
We love sports, and we love to talk about it. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle.
Catch your breath. Whether you're a hardcore athlete in training or just looking to stay active, find the gym that fits your needs in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. We bring Colorado the best sports and fitness information from in and around the Denver metro area. Find gyms, CrossFit, sports performance and personal training, nutrition, and more in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for daily updates and specials from our sports and fitness providers. ColoradoSportsAndFitness.com, Colorado's #1 resource for sports and fitness information.
GoMileHigh.com. Are you freaking kidding me? GoMileHigh.com.
This is the truth from the Fool Nelson, telling you that I'm bringing class and sophistication to professional wrestling and GoMileHigh.com.
Oh, truth, shut up. This is the consequence. We don't play nice on the Fool Nelson. Not even our own families are safe.
You got one of your cousins calling here?
My cousins won't listen to this show. They're not near smart enough to be listening to this show. And the truth is never afraid to share his opinions of anybody.
Big Show, he sucks unless he's a bad guy. I liked it when he was the Giant in WCW, and they wouldn't allow him to talk, and he would just kick ass.
We also bring you the most popular segments each and every week.
It's time for Fool Nelson Trivia!
And nobody has special guests like we do.
We've got from Juggalo Championship Wrestling, former WWE superstar Zach Gowen is on the air.
I'm the world's only one-legged wrestler.
We even have future Hall of Famers.
This is the hardcore legend Nick Foley.
Tune to the Full Nelson every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time on GoMileHigh.com.
Excuse me, do you know how to get to Maine and Maple?
Do you have these in a 7.5? How's that cooked?
Can I get that shipped overnight?
Is there a direct flight?
How long does the warranty last?
What's your soup of the day? How do you change the ringtone?
Does it come in blue?
Does this bus stop at Elm Street?
We ask questions everywhere in life.
Is it raining out?
What time's the meeting? How much does this cost? Does it have 4-wheel drive? Have we met before?
What's my account balance?
Yet somehow when we get to the doctor's office... Any questions?
No.
We clam up. Ask questions.
What is this test for?
Are there any side effects?
When do I get my results?
Questions lead to better health care. Go to ahrq.gov for a list of 10 questions everyone should know. Questions are the answer. Public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
This is the best independent wrestler in the state of Colorado, the Superstar, and you're listening to the Michael Titus Show on GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. If you want to call in, if you want to have any questions, comments, or concerns, call in at 720-258-8488. All right. And at this particular point in time, I wanted to throw a little interesting tidbit at you. A classmate of mine here at the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, Mr. Ron Unger, he made a comment one day that he said that the individual who sang "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" was the same guy who is the voice of Tony the Tiger. Well, he's right and he's wrong. The reason he's right is that the guy who did sing "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" is the guy who did Tony the Tiger, but that was years ago. That was Mr. Thurl Ravenscroft, but he was uncredited with that. They said Boris Karloff was the one who did the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" in The Grinch Steals Christmas. And he was uncredited with doing the Tony the Tiger as well for the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. But you know what? He died in 2005. And now, until 2014, the man who's in charge of that is Lee Marshall. Lee Marshall is the voice of Tony the Tiger in the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes commercials. And he was a commentator for AWA. He was, when they were on ESPN, he co-hosted Thunder with Bobby the Brain Heenan. And a little known fact is that he was the ring announcer for the Los Angeles portion of WrestleMania 2 back in 1986. So there's a little bit of tid information about what's going on. It goes from kind of like entertainment with movies back into wrestling, and that's what goes on here in wrestling. So continuing on with this past weekend shows, this past Saturday night was the ACW Underground show at the Colorado Springs ACW Training University, which has now been changed over to the Pat Tanaka Wrestling Training Center. And you know what? I got to be honest. I am the owner of ACW, but I was kind of disappointed with the show because it's the last remnants of Brandon Bishop, him trying to have a stronghold on ACW, and he booked the matches, and I was just quite surprised that he did what he did. But being that it's under new regime, I plan on making a lot of changes. There are some certain people that need to go. For one in particular is El Hoto Loco. He needs to get out of here. He's gone. He's finished as far as I'm concerned. Tila's gone. She has no business being in wrestling. Tommy LaCroix needs to be stripped of the Underground title. It needs to be going back to Johnny Zudo. He's disrespectful and undeserving of the title. And then Azteca Guerrero, he's a nice guy, but he's just an old Mexican, and that's just basically it. He's old. He has no business being in the ring. And Johnny Crash, like I've said before, you're a nice kid. You've done this for 9 years, but I think it's time that you hung up the boots, as it were. It's just you're done. And Richard Gustafson, you know what? You thought that you were somebody special, and you thought in this 6-man tag you were, that I sprang upon you, that you were going to be some smart guy and you were going to be able to counteract anything that I was able to dish out at you. Well, think again, because just because you brainwashed CVL, just because Sam Udell is a muscle-bound moron, you thought you were going to take back the tag team titles? Think again, Blubberbutt. It was I, Michael Madoff, and Jason Knoll, my Diamond Standard. We took you and we beat you. And Richard, you thought you could fake a heart attack in the middle of the ring to get yourself out of getting your butt kicked? Well, I didn't need him, but Michael Madoff gave me brass knucks. I used them. So what? And now Michael Madoff and Jason Knoll are the ACW Tag Team Champions. Plain and simple, cut and dry, and that's it. And Brandon, you can go out there and try to give some farewell speech. Nobody cared. Nobody cares about you. Goodbye. So long. Who cares? But you know what, Richard? You think you're so smart. Getting back to you, Richard Gustafson, you're going to be my personal assistant. Because I need a lackey. I need someone to do all of the, grunt work, the stuff that I don't want to do. And I need a bodyguard. And I'm going to get myself a bodyguard because, as I've been saying for weeks now, I've got this woman, Alexis Vane, coming after me, and she has been coming after me not only in person, but on Facebook, text messages, you name it. I don't even know how she got my phone number, but she's been accosting me and literally harassing me. And, I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to go get a restraining order just yet. I'm going to have to, get a bodyguard first. But if it push comes to shove, I'll get a restraining order. You can guarantee on that. But that's exactly what happened. And also, that night was the debut. This past Saturday night at the ACW Underground, it was the debut of the Polish Prince, Randy Paszczał Kamakupu Karowski, or something over his name, with his manager, the Games Master. I've never seen a guy like this in my entire life since the days of Mad Dog Vachon, since the days of the Iron Sheik, some crazy Middle Eastern, European guy that just coming out of there and acting crazy. I've never seen something like that before in a long time, and it's probably something that is direly needed in wrestling these days. And that, when we get back from the break, we'll set up for the next segment that I'm going to bring for you, is the Wrestling Then and Now. And the interesting thing, a part about what I'm going to be bringing to you, is that it's a part of that segment is going to be, when has a major title changed in Colorado? And I'm going to be talking to you about the promotions, the titles that changed hands, and who fought who to declare the new champions. So you've got to stay tuned for more of the Michael Titus Show, because I got a lot of things coming up, and you don't want to forget about that long-awaited interview with Chris Von Lohr. Stay tuned for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, this is Sarah McClure from Living Mile High.
This is Cut Buning from The Baseline.
Hey, this is Mike Schaefer from The Man Cave.
Yo, this is Big Kev from Overtime at Ballin' Under 303.
Hey, this is David with On the Pitch.
This is Dwayne from The Sports Hole.
Wishing you and your family happy holidays.
And wishing you a happy holidays.
Wishing you a happy holiday.
Wishing you a happy holidays.
Wishing you a happy holidays.
Wishing you and your family a happy holiday.
Wishing you happy holidays.
Wishing you and yours a happy holidays from all of us here at GoMileHigh.com.
Hi everyone, it's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt with American Liberty Mortgage, here to talk about renovation loans. There's no need to do the renovation work yourself when you can have a contractor do it and get it done in a required period of time.
With Fannie Mae's Home Path loan and FHA's 203K loan, you can have the renovation work done for you and have the cost rolled into the loan. Call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt for more details about the Home Path renovation and FHA 203K loans at 303-901-6042.
That's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
What's more fun than a cowgirl with an hour of free time on her hands? They've got this fantastic, athletic creature.
The Corral.
It was the fourth straight year that this 7-year-old bay gelding has carried a cowboy to the Guyman victory. They're treating this horse good, and he's trying to bug those cowboys off, and he's doing it with style, and they're winning. I'd just like to go pet that horse and tell him how cool I think he is.
The Corral with Kelly Brogan, weekday evenings 6 to 7 on Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
Teach me another one.
Okay. A chick in a car and a car won't go. That's the way to spell Chicago.
Chicago.
That's right.
Dad, how about Mississippi?
You ready for Mississippi? Okay, let's go.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. I've just been looking over Twitter here and I've been informed by the real Joshua Todd to give him a shout out, a dear close personal friend of mine, Mr. Hollywood himself. This man is reality show personified. If you want to check him out, he's got a lot of new television reality series that are be coming out in the next season. The real Joshua Todd. You got to look him up. The real Joshua Todd right there on Facebook. He's also on Twitter. He's got a lot of shows coming out. You want to check that out. But as I was saying, before we went to break, I have a new segment in addition to Wrestling Then and Now. I wanted to add this because it was something I thought would be interesting, little tidbits for you. When was the last time a major title was changed hands in the state of Colorado? Well, actually, the first time it ever changed hand that I can see in record books was November 12th, 1965. Right here in Denver, Colorado, was when Mad Dog Vachon defeated the Crusher. And I'm going to tell you what, it's you have Mad Dog Vachon against the Crusher. It's the man who made Milwaukee famous, the Crusher, this cigar-chomping man. These two just had hard-fought battles. They're rugged, tough individuals. And the Mad Dog, he just goes out there and just destroys people, throws chairs around. He's nuts. He's crazy, and he's certifiable. And these two just went out, and dude, the Crusher, big barrel chest, big, huge man, and they just had a huge, huge match. And they can only imagine that Mad Dog defeated the Crusher and won the title back. And then later on, he was able to face Dick the Bruiser, which was the tag team partner of the Crusher. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, AWA World Heavyweight title match, it was a happening, that's for sure. Long time ago, big history, making events, a lot of those things. But in addition to Wrestling Then and Now, I got to tell you, December 13th, 1989. Now, of course, I am a fan of managers. I've watched them my entire life. And I'm going to be talking to you about Bobby the Brain Heenan. At this particular point in time in his career in the World Wrestling Federation, he had just lost the Brainbusters. He fired them because he felt that they were no good. They were just not listening to him anymore. And he needed a way to win those tag team championships and take it away from the Demolition, Axe and Smash. So what did he do? He put together the Colossal Connection, Andre the Giant and Haku. The most formidable team that there probably has ever been in the world of wrestling. And they defeated On that date, December 13th, 1989, they defeated the Demolition and became the tag team champions. They held those titles until, I believe it was March, whenever WrestleMania 6 happened in Toronto at the Sky Dome, and that's when they lost the titles back to Demolition. And another thing about wrestling then and now is I want to talk about is that this past Monday night, on Monday Night Raw, it was the Slammy Awards. The Slammy Awards, that every December they always have the Slammy Awards. And the Slammy Awards took place, the very first one was in 1986. It was at the Civic Center in Baltimore, Maryland. And the awards were based on what happened and were created by the Academy of Wrestling Arts and Sciences. So back in 1986, there was a lot of big awards that happened that night, but I thought was very funny, and probably many don't know about it, was ignominious. The most ignominious. And the only nominee was Nikolai Volkov. Nikolai Volkov. And the ignominious, if you don't know what it means disgraceful, deplorable. And they felt that Nikolai Volkov was the most deplorable individual in all of the World Wrestling Federation. And then in 1987, before we jump right here to 2011, I'm going to briefly talk about, because it was the second edition, but, it was also coined as the 37th annual Slammy Awards. And the reason that's important and why I want to bring that up is because I thought I was real funny. I thought I was an interesting individual. And then when I was in high school, I was the president of the National German Honor Society. And when we had our annual awards banquet, I thought, okay, we're right there in the auditorium, and I'm standing in front of the whole, a group of people and the principal and everybody. I thought, okay, this is the 37th Annual National German Honor Society Awards Banquet. And I tell you what, I got so many looks. I got so many reactions. I got cards and letters and phone calls. Everybody telling me, what is this idiot talking about? This isn't the 37th Annual National German Honor Society Awards. They thought I was an idiot. But I thought I was being funny. I thought I was making a joke. I even said that, hey, our teacher is Luscious Bronson, trying to coin the phrase of Luscious Johnny V. I just tried to be that kind of a wild and crazy individual, but it doesn't win over some people. Some people just don't like it. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. But on that night, on December 17th, 1987, for that Slammy Awards, the second annual, they had Manager of the Year, presented by Gorilla Monsoon. And of course, because I'm a manager, I like to talk about managers. Gorilla Monsoon said the nominees were Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Fuji, the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart, and of course the Doctor of Style Slick. But Gorilla Monsoon, being the guy that he is, saying that, managers have to be upstanding, very nice and honorable individuals. And he said that he declared that there was no winner that night because he felt that they were all disgraceful, ignominious, and horrible human beings. Gorilla Monsoon. I like the guy, but boy, he was very judgmental at times. Now, advancing forward to the 8th edition, which was this past Monday night, December 13th, 2011, in Norfolk, Virginia. The two main awards that I will talk about, because I know that the Truth and Consequence later on tonight will be talking about the Slammy Awards on their show, The Full Nelson. The two main awards I want to talk about before we go to break is Trending Superstar of the Year is Long Island Ice Z, Zack Ryder. The man with Z True Long Island Story on YouTube. 42 episodes. It's just unbelievable. And then, of course, Superstar of the Year. He also won Pipe Bomb of the Year, CM Punk, the WWE Champion. It was an amazing night, a lot of great things. And on top of that, my God, Kane is back. Kane has been resurrected. He's got a mask on. Somehow he grew out a full length of hair in just 3 months. And he's wearing his gloves. He came in and made a statement that reverberated across the world. He chokeslammed John Cena. And that's supposed to tell people that he is back to mean business. He's gunning for the top guys. He is going after each and every individual to make a name for himself once again, because he's going after either the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. So stay tuned for more, because when we come right back, we're going to have that exclusive, long-awaited, much-anticipated interview with Chris Von Lure, the Kodiak Bear himself. Stay tuned for more of The Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
GoMileHigh.com. Go Mile High.
You're listening to GoMileHigh.com. Oh. We may not be perfect, but we love sports. GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Catch your breath.
When you think of horses and insurance, you probably think of hurdles. At Equisure, they pride themselves on giving you a smooth ride because Equisure employs insurance people who are horse owners, competitors, and equestrian participants. The unexpected in the horse world can be costly. Don't wait to have a claim to find out. Equisure. Protect your passion. To get a quote, visit equisure-inc.com or call 800-752-2472. Equisure. 800-752-2472.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't log off that computer yet. You know what time it is. 7 o'clock on a Monday. That only means one thing. Overtime on GoMileHigh.com. I'm Josh Dover, alongside Ronnie Taylor and Kevin Retner. We got you every Monday night from 7 to 9 on GoMileHigh.com. We break down the weekend of sports, yesterday's NFL games, and what's new with the Rockies.
We're talking Broncos. Will Tebow live up to the hype? Also, your Denver Nuggets. What will they do this offseason to get over the Carmelo era? So tune in every Monday night, 7 to 9 for Overtime, only on GoMileHigh.com.
Are you tired of the same old plain sports shows throughout the week and you stuck listening to them? Well, now it's time to change your sports life around. Check out Overtime, Monday nights from 7 to 9. Me, Ronnie T, Big Kev, Josh Dover. We bring sports talk to a whole nother level. We take it real and raw. We don't hold any punches. You want Nuggets, Broncos, Avalanche, Rockies? We got you here. Make sure you stay locked. Overtime, the only thing that helps you get through Monday.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Go Mile High. You're listening to GoMileHigh.com.
I may be many things. Some might call me crazy. Damn, I'm too far gone. I don't need you to save me. I may be many things. Some might call me crazy. Now I'm too far gone. I don't need you to save me.
Hello and welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. And if you all have any questions, comments, or concerns, please call in at 720-258-8488. And I have an exclusive interview at this time with the one and the only. He is from Dead Horse, Alaska, stands in at 6 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 275 pounds. Here is Chris Von Lohr.
How's everybody doing out there? Thank you very much, Michael Titus, for having me on your show. Well, I guess I'll go right into it, into a bit of a backstory, if you will, about myself. I was born in Dead Horse, Alaska, and I guess my family was about as dysfunctional as anyone's. I had a hard life. I did a lot of chopping wood, building houses, things like that. And things didn't go so well for me at school or anything like that. And one night I'm sitting there watching television, on came professional wrestling, and I knew that's where I could really shine, because no one else would take me.
And you saw Stampede Wrestling, isn't that correct, out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada?
Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that takes me into my next point, and where I trained to become a wrestler. I could have gone down to the Heart Dungeon. I could have done a lot of things in Canada, but Canada, it's not quite a hotbed, so I came down further down into the Americas. And well, I started out in Montana, nothing there, and Wyoming, not much there. Most of the Rocky Mountain region is terrible. And then I came to Colorado. And ACW, Asylum Championship Wrestling, is one place where I really got my foot in the door. I started there, I took a few bumps in the ring there, and got a few belts. You know, had some success there, but the best part about Colorado are the other promotions. You can get in all those other promotions, you can take hold of the entire state. And one of the great things about Colorado is you can look left to the West Coast, you can look right to the East Coast, and there's opportunity everywhere there. So when the time is right, and hopefully that's coming here soon, I'm going to get my tail out of this state, and I'm going to make something of myself.
Yes, and we've all talked about this. I've expounded upon this on numerous occasions, how Colorado, there are a few good promotions, but as far as it goes, there are horrible workers, horrible promotions, and if you want to make a name for yourself in this business, you've either got to go to the West Coast, to California, or you've got to go up to the Northeast for New York and that area, or down to Florida. That's where it's at. And Chris, I know that you've got a lot of goals and aspirations in this business. You just explained that you want to move out and you want to go to either one of the coasts. Is there a particular company that you want to work for, something that you want to, a goal that you want to attain, like a certain status, a level, anything like that? Does that sound like something that is going to work for you?
Well, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and take the bull by the horns and shoot for the WWE, because, I mean, that's the place where everyone wants to go. When you're a little kid, you grow up watching WWE. When you're a 12-year-old kid, nobody wants to say, hey, I want to go to Ring of Honor, hey, I want to go to TNA. No, WWE is the place that makes the magic happen, and that is the place I intend to go.
Now, it is no mystery, and on my show I try to keep things as well as can be expected and within the confines of what professional wrestling rules and guidelines stipulate. But it is true, I have managed you. I've managed you in NRW, I've managed you in UWA up in Fort Collins, and I wish I could manage you in ACW, but the problem still remains is that there was Brandon Bishop. Brandon Bishop felt that he had to go out and create different storylines, different things, and so therefore it prevented us. Because we're friends, we travel up and down the road together on numerous occasions. We have the same goal in mind. And same goes for NEW. We got a guy out there, Stephen Powers. He's an okay guy if you just present him the money, but outside of that, he's a complete and utter moron as far as I'm concerned. So we have a connection there, and we've worked together on numerous occasions. We've had especially that Duff Doyle incident. And I know that I've explained to the listeners about the Duff Doyle incident, but I want them to hear in your own words what happened and what transpired with Duff Doyle.
Well, Duff Doyle, it all started out when I first came to NRW. They said, okay, we're going to stick you with Duff Doyle. He's a guy who knows a bit what he's doing. Good luck, kid. And, well, I thought I'd have it in the bag, but for whatever reason, NRW was too poor to afford a decent ring, and the top rope snapped, and I had to tap out because Duff Doyle used that to his advantage. I don't know if it was quite that way. I think it was more cheating, but used it to his advantage anyway. And he beat me. And that's where it all really started, because I took it up with NRW officials, and me and yourself, Michael Titus, we complained, and we did whatever we could to right the wrongs that were done. And you know what? Swan Christopher and all the other guys running the show, they couldn't get it done. They just put me in another match with them. They put me in some tag matches with them. And every time, Duff Doyle and Danger Dean and all his other little cronies and that self-righteous piece of crap Swan Christopher screwed us each time. And it finally came down to the line when you were handcuffed to one of the members of the Duff Doyle militia, and Jason Knoll was barred from ringside. Danger Dean wasn't there, and it just came down to me and Duff Doyle, and I don't know what happened. I guess he beat me or whatever, but that's not important. We will come out on top with Duff Doyle.
That is very true. The score is not settled. The war is not over. The battle has not been won. Duff Doyle may think he has gotten some win over us, but that is irrelevant at this point, because Duff Doyle, you are not going to get ever an opportunity, as far as I'm concerned, to work your way up in NRW, and I will personally make sure that you will never get a title match against Jesse Williams, because Jesse Williams, it is the man in NRW. He is the man. It's the Jesse Williams era. And Swan Christopher, like I've said it before, I will personally make sure that you are removed as owner of NRW. But Chris Von Lohr, enough about that at this particular point in time. Is there anything else that you would like to impart for the listeners to let them know a little bit more about yourself, your future goals and aspirations, and where they can see you next?
Well, next you can find me at the ACW Underground show. It's a cage show. I don't know if it's just a couple of people there. I guess it's okay. You can go there, hit it up if you want. The next show, the next big show, the next show worth anything that I'll be at is going to be the NEW show at the Buffalo Rolls in Golden, Colorado on December 11th. And that night I'm going to go up against a guy who's been around the block a few times here in Colorado. Hell, he's been around the block plenty of times, and he's hit the McDonald's too, Jay Sin. And I'll be there. Unfortunately, in NEW, I've lost every single match since its inception, and that really bugs me, and I'm kind of going nuts there, I guess you could say, and I got a few things up my sleeve for this next match, so I guess you'll just have to go there and see what's up. As far as any ways to contact me or follow me or see where else I'll be, you can find my Facebook fan page at facebook.com/Chris Von Luhr, and that's VONLUHR for you morons. And yeah, find me on Facebook. You can see my YouTube videos. You're listening to the Michael Titus Show right now. You can ask him. He manages me. We're friends. We know everything about each other. Anything else you want to know, Michael?
No, I believe that's it. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to come and do this exclusive interview with me for the Michael Titus radio show, which is on GoMileHigh.com. Thank you once again. Stay tuned, folks, for more of the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com.
Go Mile High. GoMileHigh.com.
Listen, here's Dylan Dave at GoMileHigh.com, and we offer you 0% hassle. That's right. And since you're already here, get behind the wheel and test drive our website. We got new and used shows from MMA, soccer, rodeo, dodgeball, and every kind of sports we could think of. So when you think sports radio, think Dylan Dave at
GoMileHigh.com. Colorado sports lifestyle. Get your brand.
Whether you're a hardcore athlete in training or just looking to stay active, find the gym that fits your needs in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. We bring Colorado the best sports and fitness information from in and around the Denver metro area. Find gyms, CrossFit, sports performance and personal training, nutrition, and more in the new Colorado Sports and Fitness Guide. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for daily updates and specials from our sports and fitness providers. ColoradoSportsAndFitness.com, Colorado's #1 resource for sports and fitness information.
Go Mile High is easy to find on Facebook, too. Like us. GoMileHigh.com.
Imagine a place where it's basketball season all year long. Imagine a place where, regardless of day or month, basketball is the topic du jour. If you have a passion for hoops like that, then join Slam Magazine's Cup Viewing every Friday at 2 for the Baseline. The lockout will be driving much of our conversation this summer, but there is still national team duty, the WNBA, and college and recruiting previews to discuss. So if the labor strife has you feeling locked out, then meet up with Cup Viewing and drive the Baseline every Friday at 2, only on GoMileHigh.com.
Yeah! I love Dan, and I promised to stick with him through thick and thin. He was in Afghanistan, and he's been through a lot, and things I can't even imagine, and I'm doing what I can, but he doesn't talk about it. He's not the same, which makes our relationship even harder. I mean, I'll try to comfort him, but he pushes me away, and I just don't know how to reach him.
You may not know what to say, but we can help start the conversation. Visit supportyourvet.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting from Belmar, Lakewood, Colorado. GoMileHigh.com.
Hi everyone, it's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt with American Liberty Mortgage, here to talk about renovation loans. There's no need to do the renovation work yourself when you can have a contractor do it and get it done in a required period of time.
With Fannie Mae's Home Path Loan and FHA's 203K loan, you can have the renovation work done for you and have the cost rolled into the loan. Call the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt for more details about the Home Path renovation and FHA 203K loans at 303-901-6042.
That's the mortgage team of Jennifer and Matt at 303-901-6042.
Arr! We be under attack. Man the long nine. Arr! Prepare to be boarded. Flagship, starboard bow. What? No, not by the enemy flagship. By garbage. The beautiful ocean be full of it these days. Many of folk don't know that when they throw their trash on the ground, it eventually makes its way into the ocean. So lend us a hand by always recycling and disposing of your trash properly. And learn more what you can do to keep the ocean healthy at keepoceansclean.org. Brought to you by the Keep Oceans Clean Alliance and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back to the Michael Titus Show right here on GoMileHigh.com. We're wrapping it up here this week, and I just wanted to let you all know about the happenings in indie wrestling for the next couple of weeks. To be quite honest, it's going to be kind of quiet. I mean, outside of this show that's going to be happening Friday night at Toronto Maxizo on 47 and Le Pan, Denver Lucha Libre, which is off of I-70 and Pecos, it's going to be quiet for a couple of weeks. And then January, it's going to be booming. Because on January 7th, it will be ACW. Then on Wednesday, January 11th, it's going to be a new promotion out of Colorado Springs. I'm not sure if they're going to call it Tanaka Championship Wrestling or Bad Company Wrestling. We're not quite sure about that. But then they're going to have a second show that week on Friday, January 13th. And then on Sunday, January 15th, New Era Wrestling, where you're going to decide who is the new tag team champions. And will Joey A. Kincaid get his title match? Will he get that title? Who knows? You'll have to wait and find out. And then the new update about New Revolution Wrestling out of Littleton, Colorado at Fun City. They're moving to Friday nights. It's going to be Friday, January 20th. That will be their first show to kick off 2012. And then the next night will be on Saturday, January 21st, will be Ultimate Wrestling Alliance out of Fort Collins. And then another show will be on that Sunday, January 22nd, Primo's Hardcore and Wrestling. So as far as the rest of the weeks go, since there won't be really any shows to talk about, I will be doing more interviews, and I'm going to give you more history. When the title change stands in history, interesting tidbits, wrestling on this day in history, little things like that. So as always, stay tuned for more of Michael Titus Show. You need to follow me on Twitter at Michael_Titus. You need to like me on Facebook. All one word, The Michael Titus Show, /Facebook. And then check out my website, themichaeltitus.com. So stay tuned. It's On the Pitch with Dave and Ronnie Lee next on GoMileHigh.com. Until next week, goodbye.